Hello future tech leaders, I am Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
Here under assistance, we are going to have some validation. If you see here under process, like we have validation. Like what we can do, we can right click on it. And then like we can try to validation. Here, like we can use some name convention as per our wish. And then like we can enable, like we can create some particular validation. Here, like what we will use a validate card number like we'll be discussing under cards. Like you have all these components that under each component, what are the different kinds of features? Is there for what purpose you'd be using? Everything we'll see. Like you will not use all the things in your application. You will be using few things. But if you know like what is that and how to use it, and like when to use it, then that is enough. Then we'll be covering more complex topics in CSA. It will be like beginning of all the things. Yesterday we saw that card information, payment information. Like which property you need to validate. You need to validate that the card information field. For that, like what we are doing is like we are going to add the particular property. If you see here under our system request, you have like payment information. Like whenever you select this payment information, like whenever you keep and not, it will show what are the different types of fields available in that particular payment information page. On the payment information page, we have card number, card type, expiration date. Here, like what we are going to do is like we are going to check validation, like we need to do validate for this particular card. Here, like we give, this is the property where we need to validate, and like what we need to do, like we need to give some condition. Based upon that conditions, only like that validation will happen. For that, like what we are going to do is like we are going to click on add. And like it will show some like various set of information. If you see here, you can validate using any one of these functions. Suppose example, you wanted to validate if the date is in past or future, then you can go with this function. If we want some expression, whether you need to check to work for, then you can go like then. If you want to compare to date and time, compare to numbers. Like whatever you need as per your requirement, you can use that particular number. Like what we are going to do is like, we'll use like some kind of an edit validate rule inside this particular field. Here like what we are going to do is like the validation of property using it in validation. Like we are giving this particular function. Here like what we will do is like here like we'll add the particular property. Like what property you want, like we want like card number. Like payment information like a card number. Validation of this field using edit. Validate name. Edit validate name, like we have some kind of edit validate which is written in Java code. Like just we will use that one. Like we'll use like this digit, like whenever you open this particular digit. Actually this is called a validator. You need to validate. It will be in Java code. Like whenever you want to create an edit validate rule in Pega, like the source will be the Java code. Like the Java code will be used. Java code only can be used in edit validate rule. Like if you want to create any edit validate, you need to think 1 to 10 times whether you cannot actually be able to use any kind of validation. If it is not possible, then only you need to go to edit validate rule. Edit validate rule, when it will be used, it is completely in Java code. Like whenever you are using edit validate, like you need to make sure like it is only at the property level. If you want to, then only you need to go to edit validate. Some of this edit validate, like a 90% of this edit validate Java code already is given by Pega. You need not to worry about anything, just you can reuse. Example, if you see this, everything is given by Pega only. We are not going to create anything. It is same with your real-time application as well. Like in real time, what you will do, like every time, like they will be giving this particular Java code. From this, like here, whatever you need, like you can use it in your application. Like it has, like in Pega provides 90% of all the Java code requirements for edit validate. Like another 10%, if it is the new requirement, completely new, which is not used anywhere. Those kind of things. You need to create and edit validate with Java code embedded into it. Here, like we are making screen level validation, I'm creating validate rule. Screen level means more than one property. I'm checking at a time. Like what I'm doing is like I'm keeping this is digit, and in message I'm going to enter like what message we want to show. Like if it is not in digit means we want to show like. Card number is invalid. Like that we can show card number is invalid like the different checks. Then like we can submit it. And like this one, like we kept it in screen level, just like what we are doing is like we are just submitting. Now like we created validate rule. Now we need to refer this validate correctly in the payment information screen. For that, like what we are going to do, like under process, like we are going to expand and then flow, action is there. Like we are going to use this flow action. Here only we define the payment information screen section. Like if you can see payment information section, right? Like where you'll have card number, MasterCard or Visa card, all the details you will have. It is entered payment information screen. Like what we are going to do is we are going to open this one, and here we have an option we have in place to add that validation rule, whichever we created. If you see here, this is the flow action which is used for payment information. And if you see second tab, we have validation. Like whenever we go to validation, already there is in some kind of invalidate rule. Like we'll try to open and see what is there in the particular validation rule. Here they gave expectation date. Like here they gave the expectation date and we created invalidation card. Like what we'll do is we'll call this particular validation here only, and then we will remove this value, enter all whatever they created for expectation. That two things will be handled in a single validation. For that what we are going to do is if you see additional validation is there. Whenever you click on down arrow, it will show what are the additional validations available in your application. If you see here, we have enter payment information as an additional validation. And just we are going to click on select this one and we will click on save. Now what we are going to use. Now we will delete this one. And we click on down arrow. Validate card information is the new validation tool which we created. Now we will click on save. That's it. We have created one validation tool. Now what we are doing is we are doing in the screen level, not in field level. Screen level means whenever you select card number, whenever you enter expectation date, you will click on submit to go to next screen. That time alone this validation will happen. If you want to have check in field level means, then you need to create a new validation tool. That also we'll see. Before that what we'll do is we will try to create a new case and we will see it here. I'm going to create a new assistant. For one screen, we'll create one validation tool. In one screen, what do you have? You have whether it's Visa or MasterCard, whether card number, then you have expectation date. All the fields, we are checking in one validation because we want, what validation will do is it will check complete screen level. If you see here, only one field is there. If you want to check complete field, you can give one validation rule in this particular screen. Here, what we'll do is here, we'll select this particular account ID. If you see here, we have various fields, full name, email address, enrollment, everything. Whenever we click on submit, that time we will. If you want to have some validation, then you can go for validation. Just we click on continue. If you see here, we have two fields now, what I will do is like I will type some alphabets and I will type some special characters. And like in expectation date, like what I will do is like I will select some positive, which is the expected account. Now like if I click on submit, then there's a validation like whatever we call, it will be showing. If you see here, if you see like card number is invalid and the expectation date is not valid, like we will get an error message. We need to correct based upon the user will be correcting it. Like here, like in this screen, only like we can't figure in the flow action. Like we can't figure the particular validations. Now like what? Now when it came like whenever we filled all this and after clicking on submit, we got an error. In some requirements they will ask like only in this particular field you need to make some kind of change like whenever you enter it. When you come immediately outside that time, you need to have some validation. For that like what we can do is like just like we can remove this particular. Like just we will remove this and here like what we'll do is like we will use one of the properties. Just like what I'm doing is like I'm selecting the card number and I'm opening. Like I said yesterday, I said to you this live view, what it will do is like it will show like what is the exact property level feature. Just like I will click on this particular thing. This is the screen that we have been given card number, payment expiration date, everything. Here, like what we're going to do is like we are going to open the card number. Now we are going to use edit validator. We are not going to use validation, only remove that validation from there. What I'm going to do is like I'm going to open this property. Card number property, I'm opening. Like edit validator, we can give it in the particular property level only. I'm opening the property. Here like I'm selecting the card number in payment information. If you see here like this is the property card number, like it is text property and they give them some condition. Here like we have another tab called advanced. Whenever you go to advance of any property, here you will find like all the configuration thing. Example like what will be the length of your property card number and like what is the expected length. Like whether you need to use any kind of validation like input validation. Whatever it is, everything you can define in this property level. Suppose like I want the maximum length. Should be, I'm saying just as a card length, the expected length also should be 8. Like if you take less than 8, it won't allow you to submit. It will show an error. The validation rule is for the entire screen, as I said to you before here. Like if you want to do it in the property, like whenever you enter card number. Here, in this case, like you are entering card number, immediately when you are coming out, you are moving the cursor out, which immediately this error should come. For that, like if you want to do for that scenario, you can go for the data to validate rule. Like a comment, you cannot do, but like you can use data validation. Example, if you see here, like what I will use, like here we will have all the things like alphabetic validation, alphanumeric validation, like all the PGA provided. Here, like what I'm doing is like I'm checking like is digit, like in is digit, like whatever we are giving, that comment will be there. If you see here, like we have some kind of things like integer, like length value, like here, like whatever comments we are giving here, those things it will be working. That's it. Like now, like what we did is like directly. Here only you can use it to validate, which is Java code. Like PGA provides all these things. Like just you can reuse them. Now like we saved it. Now like what we'll do? We'll go to enter payment information. Here there is an option for actions. When that validation, individual property level validation should occur. Whenever you fill this one and whenever you come out on change of this one, like you need to call that individual level validation. Edit validation individually for this field. For that, like what you can do is like for this particular field card number, like you need to have defined some actions. Like in actions, like you can have some creation actions. Why we are doing is like that time only it will refresh. Like you type a new card number, like that system will recognize. Like when we wanted to do this slide, whenever the card number, like you are entering something in the card number first time. Again second time, what you are doing, you are changing the card number you are entering. The system will recognize like it won't recognize that you entered second card number. In order to recognize, you want to refresh the screen. In order to refresh the screen, then you need to go for these actions for the particular field where you are, wherever you want it to refresh. Like what I'm doing for the card number. Whenever the customer is changing like here, I will add like on change. Mouse event. Is there keyboard event? Is there other event? Like whenever the customer is changing new thing, like what we are doing is like we are going to refresh this section. On change of this field, like we are refreshing the section. And like what we are using like post value, like what this post value will do, whatever you enter, it will be posting to the clipboard and then validation will be happening. Temporary storage. Like second time, if you are changing again, it will post to the clipboard and then it will refresh. Like now, like we will submit it and then like we will try to save it and then we will refresh the runways. Now I will refresh this one. I'm going to this particular payment information screen. Here like now, what I will do is like I will enter some characters. Now nothing I'm doing, I'm not clicking submit, just I'm placing my cursor outside. Immediately, if you see here I got like in value specified for card number value doesn't have to validate. Like that, we are getting digit. Is that the way it will be used in the property? Here, we cannot give you a message. Whatever message is different in the Java code, it will display the same thing, but it is in property level. Immediately, when you move something out of the property, it will show. In the same way, like if it won't allow you to be entered something, maximum 8 values, it won't have more than 8 values. I'm typing some 9, 10 like that, but it's not coming. My maximum 8 only is limited. Suppose you are giving 7, but our expected length is 8. Like, what it will be showing is like, because like it's not specified with that particular thing. In this way, like whatever you want, then if you see I give an 8, now that the other gone, it's a no error. Like now, like if I didn't use 7, like what it will be showing is like, even whenever we are able to submit, it will not allow us to submit. Like whenever you go here, like it will be showing some kind of an error. This is called pre-level validation. Previously, like in validation rule, like if whenever you submit this after filling in valid digits, that time only validation is happening. That is called validation. Like example, like in the screen, like we wanted to validate this card number and the expedition, both the things you want to validate. You are getting the requirement from the client, such as like whenever user enters invalid card number and the expedition date in past. Like whenever you click on submit, whenever it clicks on submit immediately, we want to show an error like that. Immediately what you have your mind should go like on pickup submit. We want to show an error, like the entire screen level. Immediately, you need to think like you need to create one validation like that. Like what we are doing. You will create one validation rule on the respective. You mentioned whatever property you want, you will add it. And then here you will use like the particular function. Whatever function you wanted to do everything. Now, like here, like I can remove these particular functions. And here I can add like expression date function. I can add it here, for example, like payment information. Not expiration date. The expiration date is there. Here, like what we want to do, the card number should be in future only. It should not be in past. If it is past means it's not like it is an expired card. Like here, like what we'll do, like we can select and function. If you click up on down arrow, it will show all the things. Here first thing will satisfy our requirement, like whether it is in past, in future or not, like that. Just like we'll select this one. Like what we'll do here, we'll add our property again, dot payment information. Dot expiration date. If it is in the past, then we need to show like card is expired, like that will show like some custom message. This is one way like where we'll check our particular property, like what is the error, and we can customize the message here. Now like we can save it. Like after saving it, then this value ruler, it won't run in standalone. Like, that means it won't. Only if you create this, it won't run at all anywhere. You need to refer this correctly wherever this property is being used. Like if you see, this is the flow action. Like flow action. Why we are moving is like there. Only you have an option for this validation rule to add it. You need to add once after creating validation. You need to add it in flow action. Like flow action also, you need to select the right flow action where the particular property is used. Example, if here you have a number of expiration date right. You need to find the flow action where these particular fields have been called. Like I found like enter payment information. In the enter payment information, if you see there is a section like whenever we open this section, what happens? Like here we know we call that. We designed the fields like card number, expiration date, everything we designed. In this here only, like whatever field we referred in validation, it is there. Like what we are going to do in this flow action, only like we are going to refer it. Here like what we can do is like just whatever you can kick on downer. Whatever it is, just you can give it again. Of course you have not created, then you can give it here and then you can open from here. Whenever you click on this one, automatically like it will open our validation, which we created. Suppose no validation is there, like you are creating new limits, then when you click on this, it will open new like new creation for validation. Like now, like we have did this and now like what we can do is like suppose you don't want in like particular individual level, then like what you can do is like just like in card number, you can remove this and you can save. Now like we gave the entire thing in our own card image. In flow action, we are given the complete validation rule, validate card information. Just validate card information. I have added whatever we configured here, just like I have called that validation rule here. Now, if you see now, I'm entering something card number in some of this. Now, if you see, I came out, but there is no validation error. If you need to have that validation error whenever you come out, that time you can give edit validate in property level. Like now what I'm doing is like I'm selecting for first date which is first. Now I'm submitting. Now our validation will come. If you see here, card is explained, our customized message and card number is invalid. Our customized message. Now like we'll come back to property. Like if you want to do it in property level first, what you need to do is like you need to remove this particular. You can remove this, validate in flow action. There is no change. Like you need not to make any change in the flow action, just you remove and like whatever it is, then let it be. Like you don't need to worry, create this validation rule or you no need to open that flow action. Nothing. Just like you can keep it away. Now like what we can do is like we can go to the property. Which property you want to add, that property you can give. Here like you have an option to use like use validate. Here like what you can give here, you can mention like that particular validation, edit validate which is to be happening in property. I'm just clicking on here. Here like what it will happen is like its digit is there, is blank, is boolean. Like I'm just going to select like is digit. Here like whatever you want, you can select it. Its letter or digit future date, whatever you want, you can select it here. I'm just selecting it here and I'm just clicking on save. Now what I'm doing here is like what property I want to validate that property alone. I'm opening that and then I'm going to advance And here I am selecting the respective validation. I understand. After this is what system. Second step, what you need to do. You need to refresh the screen, like whenever you enter it, the system should recognize. Like the customer has changed a new value or customer has updated a new value, like that. We wanted to make the system understand. Like for that purpose, like what we are going to do is like we are going to add some action event here, like in the part that also you are going to be in the property only, not anywhere. Like just you're going to call number, and here if you see on change, you are going to refresh the section and then you are posting the value to the clipboard. We need to add. If you didn't add, means the system won't recognize that you enter new values again. It won't work. Action. Every time you should refresh that time only, like the system would understand. When you place something here, you are going to update something. You have updated something like the system. In this way, like you can make the particular change and then like you can be able to see our changes. Like now, like if you see, like both here, I'll see if you want to configure means same thing. Here also, you're going to do actions and like in that event, like what you are going to do is like on change. Here like we are going to refresh and we are going to post it. Just like click on here. After this, like what we are going to do, like this to save it, and like in the payment information, also like we need to keep some added to validate, to write. Just like we will open that expiration date. Here, the payment information expiration date is there. We are going to open this one. Here we are going to advanced. And here like a use validate is there. Here like we can drop down and we'll check like whether any past is there or not. Actually is future date is there. Past is not there. Like what you need to do is like we need to create like one new edit, validate here. Like if you take this future date. This is one Java code. Like in the internet, if you see like whether if you want to check in Java code for if is past date or future date like that. Just like you can use it in that particular way. What I'm doing is like Java code. To check past date. Like we'll get multiple Java code from various websites. Just like you can go to any one website. And here like whatever it is, they're just like whatever it is, there just we can copy it and then like we can paste it here. If you see here, this is just like they're given like in this. Like if you want to modify something, just you can modify, you can just copy paste. Nothing you need to do, just to copy paste and you can modify the particular value, whatever values you want. If you do that, like what it will happen is like it will recognize the particular Java rule and then like our validation will work. If you see already existing thing like what they have used in the validation. In validation, you have an option to determine whether it is past or present. But here like you don't have an option. If you see here, like what we have used is like for the expiration date checking. What we have used is like we have created one when to do like in that window, like they have mentioned, like whether that date is in past or not. If I go, if you see here, the payment information experimentation is before today. We have this option in the particular vendor changes. Like here you can select like whatever it is. Like you can select today, tomorrow, yesterday, previous quarter. Like current, next month, last one, previous. Whatever you want, everything you can select here. Instead of going for like a Java code, just like you can use Pega, provided out of box utility. We also did it. We could really use things. Example, this expiration date and then that particular alphanumeric like card number. Those kind of things and all it will be there. But like something new, like they are asking. For example, they are asking to check some email. ID for number that everything will be there. Only almost 99%. Like 1% if you get some kind of totally new. That then you need to create new. I've already done. Just like you can go to that particular flow action and then like just you can click on down arrow. What are the stuff, things available? It will be showing actually you in many scenarios you need to create newly. Only like because they don't know like whether they will be having because everything will have every new field state. New fields will have. It's only like this validation. If you understand, it is very easy. Like every application will need this example. You might be seeing this. Like an all application, like whenever you are using some Amazon making payment or something like whatever booking the case. Whatever you do, you will be getting this kind of an error. This under like, it's very mandatory in order to utilize all the things. That's it about validation and validation. Like you can give it every step. If you want, like in property. If you do means like immediately, whenever you enter in the name with some digits, immediately it will show. It should not be in digits like that it will show. You have to say. Actually, you can directly ask a customer. Like the name, if they give an indigence, what we can do, like that you can add them. Like, we need to have some validation for that like that. If they say means, you can add it. Like you was, you are. You say this means it will be an added advantage for you. And they will be recognizing you. You are identifying this kind of things and all. And like one, if you're doing one work, means like 1 point will be adding for you. Like that, only it will be working in real time. Now like, what we're going to do is like we have two types. We have case type called assistance request, right? What does it provide? It provides like assistance for the customers who is going in highway with their vehicle. If they face any kind of issues with the vehicles, means like immediately they will rise in compliance. Immediately, like our service team will be going into and they will do all of these things. Like what? Like during that particular road assistance, your service provider. Like what they will do, they will find mechanical repairs. And if the vehicle, that service provider can be prepared for the service call. Example, like we have different kinds of vehicles, like we have a car, like we have a bus, like we have like a tempo, various kind of vehicles. But the service provider will be providing only for certain vehicles, not for all. If we bring some buses, and that means he cannot do some kind of changes. Like what we need to do is like we need to provide and like we need to make sure like what kind of a vehicle the customer is trying to provide, trying to bring. And we need to make some kind of readiness for that one. Like example, like if you take bus means bus and truck. The wheel will be very large when compared to car. Like that, wheel won't be available in the particular service center. Like if they were not before, only they will arrange like this wheel, this bus is there. Like we can arrange some wheel like that. They will make sure like what we need to do is like in order to prepare for that service, like in order to make some guarantee for the service provider what kind of vehicle it's coming in. Like what they want is like the user, they want only to enter combinations of and make model and year of vehicle. It's simple if you take some kind of a Tata vehicle. If you say a Tata Indica, like it is very old vehicle. Now that it is not there in market. Like, but there is an issue with Tata Indica. Like you need to have some spare parts for Tata Indica. Like suddenly, if they bring Tata Indica to the service center and the service center might not have the spare parts immediately ready. Like whenever the customer raises and compliant, we need to make sure like whenever, whatever the make they are doing, it should match with the model and the year. All the three combinations are perfect. Like the customer with the service provider will recognize this is this model year card. We can arrange some kind of spare parts like that they will recognize. As part of this, like what we need to do is we need to make some kind of data from external system. Like we need to make like what are the data like external system we have, like what are the year, what are the model vehicle, everything we have in external data. Like since our external system is not ready, like what we are going to do is that we are going to do it locally. We are going to simulate it basically. We are going to add our own data and like we will make, like we'll see, like how we can see how we can make that particular usage like that. We'll see here. That is called simulation. Normally all the car. What are the manufacturing here? What are the car models? Everything we have in external data. Some external system. We have it since the external system is not ready to use for now. Like what we'll do is like we'll simulate. Simulate means we will add our data in Pega and we are going to use that as an actual data. Whenever real-time data comes, just we'll replace that with real-time data in originally. For that, like what we can do is like in this particular app studio, like we are going to open this data objects. But here only like we are going to have some kind of a particular vehicle models, those kind of things. Everything like me. The models, yes, make everything. If you see here like there is like various kinds of data, object data, like we have vehicle makes and models, everything. Here, what we are going to do is like we are going to select vehicle models. We will add our one set of vehicles, say example 2014 Tata Indica, 2015 Hyundai Verna. Like that, we will add our own data. It's not in real-time data. Like what we'll do is like with the data, we'll see like how that user can able to select locally. Like we will not give it to the real-time customers. We will make some kind of a unit testing, like testing people in order to check that. When the original data comes, then like we'll remove the simulation data. It's like locally we are adding like this year, this make and this vehicle type, like that we are going to add it. Yes, like they won't say like a simulation directly. They will say like the external system is not ready, like external system only. They need to provide data for you, but they are working on it. Like until they work, you cannot waste your time. What they will do is like they will ask you to create all the setup in Pega and make it ready. Whenever the system is ready, it directly. You will be integrating the two things. Like for that, as a developer, we need to understand for this kind of scenarios, simulation of these solutions like that. We need to understand and we need to do it. Here like if you see like vehicle model we went and here we have data pages. Like in data pages, like we have like connect to system of record, create simulated shows. If you have original system of record, original external system is ready, then you will click this button connect to system of record. Like now, like an example, I'm clicking on this. Like what it will be having is like it will be asking what is the external system name and what are the different kinds of sources. Like what are the different data, like that everything. If we see here, what is the system? Like everything it will be asking. You need to give this everything. Since we don't have the original external system, like what we are going to do is like we are going to create simulated sources. Just I'm clicking on it. Now like automatically we got a message like data pages which in mission created successfully. Like you don't want to do anything. Just if you click that button automatically and Pega will create everything. Just you can click on. Now if you see two data page will be created and here like it will be having. If you see we got two data pages. One is like a page and another thing is like page list. Like if whatever you want, you can use it here. If there is only single vehicle, you can use it in the vehicle. This data, if it is more than one vehicle, you can go for this list. Now automatically we simulate it. Because of that we got two data pages. Now like what we can go is like we can go to records. And we can add some manually here. Here like whatever you want vehicle type, you can add it on your one. This is stimulation. You don't have actual data. You are adding the data on your one. In this data, you will be checking whether in UI it is coming this data or not. Like that. You will be checking. Automatic Pega page. Two things. Like whatever you need, you can select from that particular thing. Is we need to configure source or not? Nothing like you can leave it same thing. it won't work. Data page is created like simulation means what it will do is like whatever you do it in this records, they will put that one. I think that they will decide just like we are doing. We can add this record vehicle type. We'll have like whatever. For example, that track you're doing means like you can give it a track and then like here you can do it like some model like you say me, some model like in. Whenever you select, use a select track, we will show only the particular model. Whatever we are showing here, the customer selects only that one. If the customer is using different model, different type means then like we are not providing service for that particular vehicles. Like now, what I'm doing is like I'm typing some kind of model which is make will be owned up. Now, what I'm going to do is like I'm going to add some passenger car. In real time, like we'll have like in millions of data, the system will have all the truck, all the bus, all the company make models, everything in Excel system we have. When we have real-time data, just we can copy it here. When we do like it will, all the data will be coming here and originally we can pick that one. Yes, with our data only the rest of us can select. If the vehicle is not there in our list, means we cannot provide because we don't have that mechanics, proper mechanics or survey or purpose, etc. Now, like just I clicked on here. Now, what we'll do is like we'll go click on preview. Like now, what we can do is like we will create one assistance request. Whenever the real data is not there, if you want to test it with some 4 to 5 data, then you will go for simulation. Now here, like what will do, I'm going to select something and here I'm going to enter customer information. And I'm going to click on continue and I'm going to keep this one. Here if I see like I got two options. Here I have make model everything. I can make like, if you see, I got this much kind of information and in model like I don't have any kind of data. Like here, only we are going to use the data model. We create simulated node. Those things we are going to refer here, that only that particular data, whatever we given there, that alone will populate here. That only we will see like in not flow action directly in section. You can give not flow action that for this direct section. In flow action, you will define section right. Directly in section, only we can give this one. I'm going to click on design and like here, I'm going to click on vehicle information and I'm going to open that section. Now like what we are going to do is like we have made model colors. In the model drop down, like we are going to edit this model drop down. Here like what we are going to do is like we are going to define the source for this drop down. Like what will be the actual source. Like that simulation data page, data model which we created. If you see here, like the list of source, here from this drop down, we are going to select data page as an associate. Data page we are selecting. Here, like it will be asking like what is the database name and what is the value. Like when you click on down arrow, like it will be showing different kinds of data page available. Here like what we need, like we need vehicles model database which we got created. If you see here, one is like normal page. Another thing is the page list to get it created automatically. Just we are going to use the created list page here. We created and simulated data source automatically. Pega created too. In that one only we are using here. Here like what we are going to do. This is like model drop down. Here like what will be the value from the database will be more. I'm just selecting like model. Like we want to move the vehicle. If truck means like a certain kind of, and we still need to display if it is passenger, car means certain kind of vehicle need to display. For that like what you can do, you can group the items as well. And then like you can group by like whatever you want, you can group by in the particular way. Suppose if you want to group by in the vehicle type means this, you can group in the vehicle. That what it will be showing is like under truck, it will be showing the particular make and model. On the passenger car, it will be showing the particular make and model like that. User can select from the particular things, but this is like a good experience, nothing more than. Like first, a database. Why do you like we have to take? One is another thing, is passenger car in our records. Let's work differently. Whenever you select group by vehicle type means whenever the truck is selected, it will show what are the trucks, what are the truck model and make available. When you are selecting passenger car, it will show water. The passengers available like that. It is really the main truck, car or bus like that. That is the main thing. Just if you go in that way, like it will display under that. If you see here, like them dropped on this model, like we are selecting model, like whatever value it is in this database model that you need to populate here. Actually, we are not selecting what make. Maybe we are not selecting make, we need to select after this. First model. Make, if you want, you can select, else you do it. You can leave it as such, like you can remove this one. You can do in that. I will show you like this. First we can apply with we will apply this. Now like just to be applied and then like we'll go to back to the design to exit the design. Now like what will show is like now like in this make like what we'll do is like we'll select Honda. And if you see here we have make us Honda and we have like two things in our record. One is passenger car under Honda City and another thing is like Honda. Here whatever you want. You can select the particular things and you can submit it the case. For example, like here, like if I select all the means again, like what it will be showing is, like it will be showing two things only. Again, like you need to keep conditions, like whenever it is 1, that time only this model should populate like that. We can keep conditions in order to do that. Just like as how we did for this particular make sorry model, same thing we can do for me. Thank you guys. One of the domains like it will work only 100%. This is the simulations is only used whenever the real data is not there, since we don't have that original vehicle type model list. In order to make all the setup in Pega, we have added this one and we simulated it in real time, like all the data will be present only. That time, like what to do is like you will go to the data page and like you will create like a before, instead of selecting create simulated results, you will select another option. If you see here, like it will not allow you to save it into their production. Simulation means see here, I have only 2 records because I only manually added. I added manually. Here example, how much you can add here manually, like 10, 15, 20, 25 maximum. But in real time, you will be adding 1,000 records. Those are not added right. Sometimes that price will be changing. Example, like if you're adding manually here. Suppose like today, that if you say like Medibody portal, right? Like one medicine is like 10 rupees and tomorrow they are increasing to 15. Again, you can update here manually. You need to come and do. If you are linking with an external system, there is the update means automatically it will refresh in our system also. Actually see simulations all the everywhere. You can do simulation whenever the data, original data is not ready. Like if you want. Suppose the data is not ready, but if you want to check your changes, then you can go for simulation. Definitely like examples, simulate truck, simulate emulator, simulate flight, like that is there. What you will do is you will be having feeling like you are originally driving the flight, but it's not an actual flight. And the same thing. You are you now, you can see the data in UI, but this is not an original data. This is only test data. Whenever the system is ready, you will delete all these things, whatever you manually added. And then Like here, like you will create and automatically data will create data page with an original data source. Here it will be mentioning like connect rest, connect slope, like that external system name. It will be mentioning. And then like there, you need to configure few configuration changes. That is the main purpose of this particular simulations. In order to time saving only. Whenever the data is not ready, in order for time saving, you will need. We will not show to the end user at all. That we will not show to the original end user, only in development environment. We will do this not in more testing or production of the only in development. That's it about today. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.